What's up, YouTube? Good morning, good morning. We are looking at ES futures right now. And shout out to my man Darth. He just made $900. Bam. Mastery, great book. Great book. I remember you got on that. The guy who said that got on that the second I sent it, and he loved it. It's a great book. If you haven't read Mastery, I highly recommend reading that. Great book, especially relevant to trading and just understanding the markets in your mind in general. Very important. But yeah, so currently, I'll walk you through each level I have, right? So this is the Asian session open. So if you're new here on YouTube, this is your first time watching, I trade based off three main sessions: Asian session, London session, and New York session. And you will find that most of my trades are more relevant to the New York session just because that's what I'm actively trading. So usually I'm trading a New York open or a New York high, a New York low. But the London low is also very important because that's usually where the most recent highs and lows are that are after the New York lows. So after the New York low, we usually have the London low right here. And then we have the Asian session. So I look at all these sessions. I look at the Asian session in red, and then the London session in yellow, and then the New York session in blue. And then I look for three main things, right? So usually it's two things because this open isn't really relevant anymore. This open is not really relevant. I mean, we've broken through this a bunch of times, but I'm looking for two main things if I'm not looking for the opens. So I'm looking for the high right here and then the low, right? So this low would be the same as this low. I'll mark it out just so you can see. So, I mean, not the same, but obviously you see what I mean. So one little trick you can do when you have opens that are right next to each other, you just make a little zone, just a little zone, right? Just so you understand that, or I'm sorry, when you have lows that are right next to each other, you have low right here, right? When it's more than like 1 point, I wouldn't do that really, but if it's super tight, you can do that. So that's what we're looking at right there. Then we have this high, which is the Asian high, and then we have this high, which is the London high, and then we have this, which is our New York Open, right? So on the 15-minute, you can see right here, we have our New York Open. Yash, you should still be in profit. So that's a decent area to take profit, in my opinion, although one could bet that we're just going to break through this and fall through. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I mean, I would just never be afraid to be trimming a little bit here and all that kind of stuff because we could get a little bit of buying pressure coming here, but I'm still overall bearish if we don't find any real buying pressure. But yeah, so the 15-minute zone, this is the New York Open. So the New York Open is very important because basically it's when the New York session opens. So there's usually a nice reaction off the New York Open, like an hour or so, sometimes 2 hours after the New York Open. So usually my main strategy, this is literally where like 95% of my trades come from, is identify the New York Open and then identify a reaction off the New York Open. So this could be a break and retest to the upside, or this could be a break like this and then retest to the downside, as we literally just had, right? Target hit. Hell yeah, brother. Good stuff, good stuff. Currently reading Trading in the Zone. Gold just retested New York Open. I'm up $400 right now. Fuck yeah. New York Open. So New York Open is going to be the first candle at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for me. So I mark it out on the 15-minute. So that's what that looks like. Right, so that's New York Open. And I would be careful here because we are getting a little bit of buying pressure, and we do have these two equal lows, or relatively equal lows. So there is going to be a lot of buys sitting around here. Right, so the question is, do we fill these buy orders and move up, or do we just continue selling out, take out their stop loss, make them sell, and then continue moving down? So that's what we're focused on right now. Plus $1,200 on gold futures on 3 price actions. Fuck yeah, brother. Good shit, man. Good stuff, really good stuff. How do you market sessions like that? So if you have any questions about the sessions and you are in premium, we do have a full course for you to check out. So I always want to just make sure I'm clear on that because I think a lot of people don't understand that we have that course. So there's actually a full course for you at no additional cost at all. You just go into premium courses and you'll see all the different lessons. It's very, very helpful. I highly recommend it, and I think that everybody else who's watched it would also recommend it. So if you have any questions about like why my chart looks a certain way, I highly recommend watching the premium courses. First take first take profit hit, trailing stop loss hit with profit for both contracts on this ES break and retest. Thank you for your magic tricks. Fuck yeah, brother. That's what we do. It's execution. It's execution. It's money bags. Money bags, man. That's what we do. Yeah, no, I love to hear that, man, because that's exactly that's what I'm looking at, right? Because I was like, okay, right, this is the break and retest, and then I was like, here, I'm like, okay, you might want to take profit, and then trailing stop is going to protect you from this kind of weird upside movement, so you just made money. Beautiful. Fuck yeah. So let's see, we're getting another retest of this. It would be funny if we just do the exact same thing and move down, wouldn't it? But let's see how this plays out, because this will likely be relatively telling, and this next 15-minute candle will also be telling, because then that's going to be the New York stock market open. So I should start with the premium courses and go from there. Yes, definitely. Yeah, and everything will be answered in there. So even like I talk about the platforms, I talk about how to use the software. So that's why I just think it's so helpful for people to go to the premium courses, because if you haven't yet watched the premium courses, you're going to be behind a lot of people in terms of essential knowledge. So before I can start answering your questions, before I can really start helping you, it helps if you go through those premium courses. So we're on the same page. So you understand what platform I'm using, what software I'm using, how I'm trading, what I'm not trading. So that's why I always recommend premium courses. And I might actually, somebody left a YouTube comment, which I love, by the way. Always feel free to leave YouTube comments. And he said that I should make a guide for everybody who joins premium on like exactly the best way to use premium. And I'm going to do that today. I actually love that idea. So, but I'll leak the guide right here to you all. Best way to use premium. So get inside of premium, go through the premium courses. Like first thing you do when you're in premium should be going through the premium courses. And notice I didn't say rush through them. Just go through them, take your time, and download the PDFs. I do include lesson PDFs. So go through the premium courses, understand, and maybe you can even go through one lesson, then ask somebody some questions. People are very, very respectful and responsive in the chats. So go through the premium courses, go in premium chat, and then I would just continue going through the premium courses, understanding. And then once you start getting to a level where you're like, okay, I understand what they're talking about in the premium courses, then I would start looking at the game plan and start seeing if you can match up some of the concepts that you learned from the courses to the game plan, and then start seeing why I'm taking trades, come on here, start really understanding my process. And then I would just continue to learn and continue to ask questions and then grow. And then eventually you can start trading on a demo account. You can start practicing. If this is just if you're completely new. And then, yeah, you can just really just absorb the information, apply the information, and yeah, just continue to learn. So this is interesting. I do want to see if we get any buyers come in, because if no buyers come in, we're just going to continue moving right back down. But this is just chop. I mean, this is talk about what not to trade. This is awful. Not like this stuff is decent. You can find a little bit of a trade here, but this stuff is just. I mean, that's a catastrophe right here, right? Like there's zero volume, zero trades right there. There's a little bit of stuff going on right here. Here there's more stuff, but it's still relatively low volume. And we will have some news on Thursday. Unemployment on Thursday, and then on Friday we also have news. PMI. That is very helpful. Thank you. You wrote the plan out for premium. That's awesome. One thing I noticed immediately when I joined the premium, everyone in this community is so nice and extremely helpful. It's awesome, man. It's awesome, and it's one of the biggest assets of this community is how helpful everybody is. Because a lot of communities are not like that. Trust me, I've been in a lot of communities in my day, and some communities it's just not even a community. It's just a bunch of people on a Discord server. All right, so yeah, we're getting some buying pressure coming in. So let's see. And YouTube, if you're watching this, unfortunately, it's going to be after this is already played out because YouTube is going to be delayed a bit. But for everybody in premium, I am looking to see if we break above this Asian high and we get a break and retest and then target all-time high. That's like I would love to see that. I'd be so happy if we saw that. I'd probably dance. I'd be like, fuck yeah. But no, like I love seeing setups that are that clean, that are just systematic. And we are, I'm going to say this for the first time here. I've never said this before at all. So this is important and this is big. But I was just thinking about systematic and I was like, you know what, I'll talk about this. We are in talks and we are in the process of developing a lot of different software products. So that's indicators, and that is also an algorithm, like a fully automated trading algorithm using my strategy, using a few other strategies. We're building multiple algorithms, but we're in the very early phase of that. But that is something that we are doing. So I'll keep everybody posted on that. Because if for those of you who don't know, I actually have a little bit of a background in AI, artificial intelligence. I used to have another business where I would help businesses use AI, just kind of a consulting thing, and then we would integrate AI into their business. So I'm pretty familiar with AI, and I'm familiar with the newer AI models, with all of the large language models, ChatGPT, all that kind of stuff, and it fascinates me. It's extremely fascinating. It's growing so fast. It's such a huge opportunity, and it's amazing. It's such good tech, and the ability that AI has to learn from its own data, to learn from its own mistakes, to learn from what it does well, and improve upon itself is a similar thing that a trader has to go through. So when you're a trader, you have to learn from your mistakes. You have to understand why you're making money, why you're losing money. You have to identify using your data what is good and what is bad, and you have to replicate the good, and then you have to get away from the bad. And if we or when we develop an algorithm that's able to do that, it will make a ton of money. And algorithms and all this stuff is just going to get better and better over time because this tech is going to get so much better. And a lot of trading is already done with algorithms at a high level. So at a very high level, hedge funds, that kind of stuff, it's it's mainly automated, right? I mean, they may have specific rules, but a lot of it is automated. And that's the future of trading, I think. I think developing a strategy will will always be important. I think it'll be even more important, but I think that when you have your strategy and when you're able to build your strategy, if you can then integrate that into whether that be a bot or an indicator to help you execute, to help you understand when to execute, I think that's the future. But that will always the strategy, it'll always come down to the strategy because if you put a bad strategy into the bot will be bad. Right? So you still have to focus on your strategy. There's no escaping that. A little bit more volume coming in here. AI mode. Hot tub stream. Y'all are crazy, man. That's fucking crazy. Oh my gosh, that's funny though. That's funny. I'll start doing some kick streams. I'm not doing a hot tub stream, but maybe we'll do like a pool stream or something a little more chill, you know. Beach stream, trading on the beach. That's so funny. Let me see if anybody has any other questions. Explain my strategy one more time. Yes, I got you. So I'm gonna explain it as if you did not watch the premium courses. I don't know if you did. I'm not assuming you didn't. But I'm saying that I'm explaining it as if you didn't, just for everybody on here. So my strategy at its core. So there's two main components of a strategy. One is levels, so points on the chart that you're marking out, and then two is execution. So I'm going to go levels and then execution. So for levels, I look at two main things. I look at highs and lows, and then I look at opens. So what am I basing my highs and lows off of? One, daily highs and lows. Two, session highs and lows. Session highs and lows often come into play because they're usually closer to where price currently is if I'm trading in the New York Open. Sometimes it'll be around a daily high or low, and a lot of times session highs and lows are also daily highs and lows, so it just ends up matching up. So that's the first thing I'm marking out. The second thing I'm marking out is opens. I'm marking out the open, mainly of New York Open. Sometimes I'll be trading London session if I'm up earlier, if I'm in a different country or something like that. But I'm usually trading New York Open, right? So this open right here, and I'm looking for reactions based off New York Open. So right here, we had a little break and retest. That's a reaction off New York Open. And we're going to go back here, and I'll show you another reaction off New York Open. We actually had a perfect one yesterday. It just marked out on my other chart. It's not going to be marked out on this chart. But actually, I'll show you the marked out on my other chart. So we're going to look at the other contracts real quick, but I'll show you. This is going to be very helpful for understanding my strategy. So right here. So this is a beautiful, beautiful break and retest that we called out on the live stream, perfectly on the live stream. You can look through the game plan. You can see it. You can see all the people that made profits in the profit section of Discord. If you're somebody watching this, just go into the Discord and look at the profit section from around 10 a.m. yesterday, and you'll see everybody talking about this trade, break and retest. But, right, so very simple. So we marked out the New York Open, and then we had the London low, and then we had the London high. So how do we take a trade? We say, okay, what is my entry criteria? My entry criteria was for us touching this New York Open. So I wanted us to touch this New York Open, and then I wanted to get into shorts, and I wanted to have stops right here, and I wanted to target this level right here. And I literally said this exact same thing. I said, this is where my entry is, this is where my stops are, this is where my take profit is. And it hit, right? So that's like a little speed run of my strategy and how it works. So very simple. And I did a video the other day talking about why I don't like support and resistance. I think some people get a little pissed when I talk about how I don't like support and resistance, but it didn't work for me. If it worked for me, I would be like, let's go support and resistance. I'd have a big shirt that says support and resistance is great. And people would be like, yeah, support and resistance is great, but it just didn't work for me. And I think a lot of people it doesn't work for because it's very confusing, in my opinion, when you have all these different support and resistance levels on all these different time frames. It's very confusing to know on which levels are actually important. So that's just why it didn't work for me. So if it works for you, great. It didn't work for me. Isn't the same as liquidity? Not exactly. I mean, here's the here's the thing. It's like liquidity is an actual term used to describe how easy it is to buy or sell an asset, right? So if I'm going to buy a house and the guy asks me, the realtor is like, how liquid, or the bank would ask me, how liquid are you? So how much money do you have in cash in your bank account that you can just use to buy a house? So in terms of trading, that applies to how much volume is there. How easily can the asset be bought or sold without heavily affecting the price? Because if there's no volume and somebody comes in and buys, it's gonna just nuke the price up or down. But so that's why it's different. And support and resistance is purely the reaction that price had off of a level, which is usually just a higher low. So this would be like people would call this a support level because price was supported here. I just like to say this was a low and we had a bounce off of the low. But for me, that's like cleaner. It just makes much more sense. But some people would just call it a support level. I'm here taking my security course with my hot instructor and learning from the live stream. Hey, brother, I respect it, man. I respect it. And yeah, I mean, it's always good when you're able to get multiple things done. My limit's usually like two. I can probably do like two things at once, but I can't really do three. I probably could, but that's good. That's good. I love that. That's funny. The Zoom days. It's so funny. Initially, I was gonna stream all of these on Zoom, but then I think like I said it and a couple other people agreed with me. Zoom gives me that like weird like COVID. I can't even say that on YouTube, but like that pandemic vibe, and I'm just like, nah, I'm not even trying to go back to that. I'm just trying to, I'm trying to say like I'm trying to have a different energy with my streams. I'm trying to have a different feel than the feel of like everybody's on Zoom and you got to log in and do the password. Like Discord's much more exciting, even if Discord tweaks out sometimes. Liquidity is where orders are. Completely correct. Yeah, completely correct. The liquidity is where orders are. So like, for example, if there is a lot of buy orders right here, this is an area of liquidity. So a lot of buy orders right here. So price will either respect these buy orders, it'll fill some of them, it'll bounce back up, or it'll just go down and it'll come down to, let's say there's a lot of sell orders. They're right here, it'll push price down and then target the next area of liquidity, which would be right here. Well, let me, would be this level right there and then that level. But yeah, liquidity on the chart is where orders are. We are getting some volume. So we'll see how this plays out. We'll see how this plays out. Ideally, get a break and retest. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not going to be messing around in this area, right? So this would be like a big like X area for me, this area, until we get over that. And then I'm like, okay, game. But if we don't get over that before 10:30, I'm just like, I don't like it, you know? When live on Kick, dude, we'll do a live this weekend. We'll do a live. There's stop orders. Exactly, exactly. That's exactly how it works. There's the stop orders, and then if the stop orders get filled, it ends up triggering more sell orders because stop orders for buy orders are really just sells, and vice versa. Kahoot, we can do a Kahoot. Footprint charts. I'll do some more videos on footprint charts. Footprint charts are very important. They help me learn a lot, and I definitely use footprint charts, so I'll do more videos on that. It's important too because like you match footprint charts with order flow with intuition. I think that's a great way to do it. Are you liable for the losses on Apex? No, you would just be liable for the only money you'd pay is how much you paid to buy the challenge. Best time for general scalping. Personally, man, I say between 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. because that's when the volume is, and when you're scalping, you need volume. Because if you're trying to scalp without volume, shit's not going to go too well. If you're trying to really take any trade without volume, but especially scalping. So yeah, just to recap, I could be looking for a break and retest to the downside again, but it'd have to be this level. I wouldn't really want to see us break and retest New York Open again after we already did that because I don't think it'd be as strong because that move already played out. So ideally, I'd want to see us break through this level, retest, continue moving down. Or I would want to see us break above this level, retest, continue moving up, target all-time highs. Over all-time highs, I'm not trading over this. I am not trading over this at all. I don't like trading over this. Sometimes I will if we're a little closer. If we were like here, maybe I'd be like, okay, maybe I'll just look for an uptrend, but I'm not trading over this. So my trade will either be a long from a retest right here, targeting up here with my stop right there, or it will be a short off of a retest right here with my stop above. You see this little blue line, like a little bit above that, and I'd be targeting like 10 points, probably 5 to 10 points. And although this is our next level of liquidity, I'm not even targeting that. You see that's how my strategy works. I'm just targeting a set risk reward. I'm targeting 10 points. I'm targeting 5 points. I'm targeting 15 points. We'll do some lives on Kick this weekend. Kahoot. We'll definitely do it. I'll make a Kahoot. That's actually a really good idea. Since that candle open is so big, what are you looking for in zone? Same thing. So same thing. I'm still looking for break and retests. And you can see, I mean, it did respect, right? Like this is a break and retest. It respects it perfectly. Like if you go down to the 5 minute, look at that. You can just see where the orders are. Like I want everybody to look at that on YouTube. Look how accurate this is. Support and resistance does not get you this. I'm sorry. You only get this from actually knowing where the orders are. This is where it opened. New York open. And then this is where the orders are, and look at the reactions we have off of that zone. I mean, that's literally that opened on the center and sold off right there and it targeted the low. Support and resistance does not give you that. It just doesn't. Right? It just doesn't give you that. So yeah, I'm looking for a break and retest currently of Asia high. And then ideally this uptrend continues, we target all-time high, and then I get out. That's my game plan. But watch for rejection. All right, watch for rejection, as always. Look at candle closures. Don't make any irrational moves. And then I switched from ESM to ESU today or yesterday. So I'm looking at something like that right now. Damn it. Y'all know what I'm trying to do. I'll do it again though. It's my ideal play for right now. And we're betting on two things. We're betting on uptrend to continue, and we are betting on the fact that we're going to come test this all-time high. And I'll say it again. Over all-time high, I'm not trading. I do not care what happens over all-time high today. I'm done after this. If we go over all-time high, I'm like, nope. All right, it's nothing against the all-time high. It's just not where I'm. I don't like the all-time high. So maybe it is stuff against the all-time high. Definitely getting some volume coming in right here. A little bit more volume. It's about 9:37. Usually get a lot of volume, 9:30, 9:45, 10:15 is big, 10 o'clock. And I noticed, man, most of my bad trades would come between 11 and 1 p.m. I never would trade good. I mean, sometimes I would, but very rarely would I have good trades between 11 and 1 p.m. So that's why I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to trade from 8:30 to 10:30. And it's been the best decision, one of the best decisions I've made in my entire trading career. My mind is clear. I have so much more mental clarity. I have so much less decision fatigue due to my mental clarity. Decision fatigue is so real. That's why like Zuckerberg wears the same shirt. I don't care how much the shirt costs. The shirt probably costs, I don't know, $1,000. But the point is that Zuckerberg wears the same shirt every day because he doesn't want to be making decisions every single day. He doesn't want to be doing something that's going to mentally take away from his decision making capability every single morning. So it's nice. I'm going to start doing that too. I'm going to start wearing the same shirt because when I wake up, and part of me, like, I like fashion and shit like that, but when I wake up, like thinking of like, oh, what do I wear? It like eats away a little bit of my decision making capability. Not that much. Like it's obviously not going to affect me too much, but I can definitely see how all these little decisions add up. They add up over time. So let's watch. I'm curious to see what happens right here. So we're either going to come down, retest this, continue moving up, or we're going to have a fat rejection. So right here is important because we're either going to retest this New York Open. It's going to be a retest or a rejection. There's no real in between. I'll go on the 1 minute just for the sake of watching price action. So look, it's either a retest or rejection. If it's a retest, that's our setup, and that's our target. So if it's a rejection, we're just going to keep moving down. But let's watch. If you're asking a question, I apologize. I'm just locked in right now. I'll look at it in 1 second. Does anybody use Tradeovate app? I didn't use it for a while, but I've been using Tradeovate app recently and I like it. I've never had a problem with executing trades on my phone. I don't think there is a problem with executing trades on your phone. Charting on your phone, that's a different conversation. But executing trades on the phone and charting on a computer, I've never had an issue with that. I actually do that quite frequently. All right, let's see. If we get buying pressure, we're just gonna come sweep up, tap this high, and then that will be the setup. But let's see what happens. We are getting some. Actually, this is nice volume. This is good volume on this candle. This is good volume. So if it continues like this, we're probably gonna move up. A lot of volume coming in right now. We're at 2,000. Let's see. I'm looking at the volume at this little blue thing at the top of my screen. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Come on, buyers. Hop on in, buyers. Show up to the party. Get us to 5,561 so we can close our screens and call it a day. I'm dialed the fuck in right now. I'm locked in. All right, this is volume. This is serious volume on this candle. It doesn't always mean bullish, but we're getting an increasing volume. And let's just see, because this is a lot of volume. This is what we need as scalpers, this volume. So a little bit of sellers coming in. So let's see. This is important because either buyers are going to come in and push this up, or the sellers will just take control. So either this is a pullback or it's a reversal, in other words. looking reversal-like if we don't get any buyers to step in right here. We would need to come back up to where we just were on one of these next candles for it to actually just be a little pullback. There is volume on this candle though, so we'll see. Yeah, it's looking more reversal-like. Still though, nothing matters until we close below, above or below. See if we get more volume, 945. Not a ton of volume. Still a bit choppy, no real direction. It's kind of getting chopped up right now. This candle's a little lower volume. Did still have a break and retest though. Didn't go all the way up to that target, but still 5 points. Still a clear 5 points. Break and retest at the cent. Of course, it always does. Because these levels are where the actual orders are. Wait, that's just chop. But YouTube, if you want to know what a break and retest looks like, there it is. Break, retest, come back up. All right, I'm scalping, so 5 points. 5 points is great. Right, all you really need a day, 5, 10 points, just consistent. So I was going to end the YouTube video, but look, I just got to show you all exactly what's going on. Up $1,200. That's what we fucking do. I'm out. I'm out. Let's go. Up 100. Bam. Out for 350. Out for 200. That's what we fucking do. Out for 1750. That's what we fucking do. Up for 1300. Up for 500. That's what we fucking do, y'all. Keeps going. Just keeps going. Bam.